Hey everybody, Parks Owsley here with Inven Global, and I'm joined by Santorin, the jungler for FlyQuest. After a 2-0 weekend, turning it around from last week was an 0-2. So right off the bat, how's the team feeling after the 2-0?
A lot better today. Yesterday we didn't feel good about it. Like I even wrote on Twitter, it's a calm fiesta. Like it just didn't feel good winning that game. Like even though we got to late game and our comp is just superior, so like, but I feel like TSM should just have kept snowballing and we should have lost. And today like we actually just like snowballed cleanly. A few hiccups here and there, but a lot better macro. So I feel great.
Yeah, and yesterday, of course, you have some things to learn, so that's good. You can still learn from a loss. Today is a really feel-good win, so that's awesome. Going into this week, where do you think the team will be, especially compared to last week after the 0-2?
Well, we only have 3 days of scrims because we were playing on Monday. But I think everyone's really hungry to improve and win. Obviously, like going 2-0 also just gives you confidence boost because very iffy against like teams like TSM because we think they're like pretty strong as well. Um, Honestly, I think it'll only go up from here because we've kind of narrowed down like our issues and like how we have to improve on them and fix them. And I think even like from yesterday to today, like I feel like we're improving on a lot of the aspects that we weren't yesterday.
Yeah, and I think this puts you at second place, tied with Immortals, I believe. So only going up. That seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that continues. What was it like? Or tell me about kind of the mentality of the team throughout the season because you started off really strong, and then I think it was 2-0 and then 1-1 and then 0-2. So that's like really scary. But you got the 2-0 again. So do you feel like it's been kind of linear and it was just kind of weird results last week, or do you feel like you really like hit a stride or something, and that's kind of what helped out?
I think we went like up, and that's because the first 2 week we felt really confident and like great because we were doing really well in scrims. Then the next 2 weeks we were still doing well in scrims, but I didn't feel like we were improving that much. Like we were making the same mistakes. We weren't getting punished because the teams we were playing were just weaker. So I felt really bad about our scrims and like going into stage because I feel like we haven't improved on anything for 2 weeks, and like the other teams are like catching up to us, and that's probably why we went 0-2 that week. And now we're back on track where we're like, holy shit, like we have to fix these issues and like actually start um just like thinking more in game because I felt like we are just like being very like on autopilot where it's like, oh, we're just gonna do that and then that and then that and not really taking into consideration like what enemy team can do and all that stuff. And I think that just came down to like the other teams we were scrimming just didn't really punish us. So now when people are punishing us, that's why we got destroyed on stage. And this is why now we're finally developing as a team again.
Okay, I see that. So I want to ask a question about Ignar because I think the biggest difference for me between yesterday's game and today, obviously there's snowballing, but you use Ignar very differently when he's a cat like attached to someone and when he's a hook champ or a Leona or someone roaming around the map. So what is it like for you as a jungler, obviously, who is supposed to have a lot of synergy with the support, and how does him being on these champions change the play style for you guys?
I honestly just feel like Igna is really, really great on roaming supports and engaged supports. Like I just feel like he's like a different beast. Obviously, like as Yumi, he's doing really, really well too. But you have like a limit of like how much you can do as like a Yumi. Whereas like on Fresh, Leona, like all these champions, I feel like he's just really good at seeing the angles and like looking for plays. And I really enjoy working with him. And I feel like yeah, like we use each other well, but I think he just also just knows what to do like when it comes down to it, which just makes my life so much easier.
Yeah, that's nice to have. So I want to ask about FlyQuest. You've obviously been there a couple years. Last year you had, certain initiatives and principles. This year it's everyone's talking about it, the go green, the planting trees. I imagine at the end of the game when you weren't hitting the Nexus, you were like, we got to plant more trees, kill these guys. What is it like being there now? You have a new facility, a new CEO, a new mindset, kind of.
Yeah.
How is it being on the team this year compared to last year?
It's a lot nicer because I finally feel like we stand for something and everyone knows we stand for something. I think last year it's like we did stand for something, but nobody knew what we stand for. So now like going green and like doing all these things like planting trees, I just love that kind of stuff, and I love like adding that to like our gameplay. It was like, we gotta plant more trees. Like at the end, I was like, okay, we gotta hit the Nexus too. We don't be like full G2 and just like keep killing them in the Nexus. But in general, like it just feels way more comfortable and in a not in like a comfortable where it's like, oh yeah, it's fine like losing and stuff like that, because like they're even more on to like you gotta win too. Like they really want us to like succeed, and that's why they're doing all these steps to make us perform better.
That's good to hear. It's been really exciting. I think it's brought kind of new life. I mean, sorry for the bad pun, but it has brought, I think, a new energy to the LCS because there are other teams getting more involved. So that's been fun to see. One other question I have about kind of the atmosphere there. You are obviously a very agreeable guy. And I think it was a vlog from last week, after the O2, kind of it's a little bit more somber and more serious tones that we were seeing in that video. And you specifically said something like, I disagree. And I'm like, whoa, Santorin disagreeing. What is it like having these rougher conversations in that atmosphere compared to maybe TSM when you were back in Europe on the other teams? H2K, I know, was really difficult. So what is the FlyQuest atmosphere like, and how does that kind of enable you to play and improve?
I really like the atmosphere we have in FlyQuest. I think there's a lot to it. So, for example, like we're really good friends, but when we're like in review, it's like friendship is kind of like taken away, and it's more like we just want to like get to the point, like be a little blunt, like just say how you feel, and then we'll like get to the root of the problem. And then after the review, like everyone is friends again. Like we'll even sometimes like kind of have like an argument where it like gets like a little heated and stuff like that. But it's like the second the review is over, we're all good again, which I really like. And I feel like that's more for me like a European kind of environment where like you can just like say what you want to say. And I think also in adding David to our roster, like David Lim as our like assistant coach, he also like brings that kind of like where it's like he just really blunt about things. Kari has been really blunt about things as well. So I really enjoy how it is right now. And as long as people keep thinking, like keep understanding that it's just criticism and it's nothing to do with like personalities and like friendships, it's gonna keep being great.
So maybe you guys can change the meta. You're bringing new life to the world with the tree planting, the orgs, and the review, the VOD review. Anything you want to say to FlyQuest fans? You said before it can only go up from here. So how high are you going to get? What's the ceiling for you guys? And anything to say before we go?
Well, for spring, like obviously we just want to first make playoffs and then probably be top 3. And then for summer, that's when it really matters for us as well, just like probably area organization. Obviously, I and the organization really wants to go to Worlds. I haven't been for 5 years. I really want to go back and actually like show what I got now. Because back when I was in TSM, I didn't feel like I belonged at Worlds and I felt kind of like misplaced. Whereas now I feel like I'm actually ready to like prove myself at Worlds. So I really want to go to Worlds with FlyQuest and like plant more trees in another place.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for watching. For more Inven Global content, please like and subscribe below, and we will catch you all next time.